Hey guys, today I was going to cover our standalone dash camera. Now this means that basically it's like a dash camera. It's going to plug in, and we've got three different options. You can go for just the front facing dash camera. You can go for the front facing and in vehicle camera, and then to both of those you can actually add on the rear camera. So this can either go on the windscreen or outside the vehicle. It is waterproof, so that is the rear camera as well if you want to cover that. Wide voltage range, so you can take from 12 up to 30 volts. So this will work on cars, trucks, buses. You can even put it in diggers and other off-road equipment if you want. So you've got those options for the 1, 2 or 3 cameras, and I'll just show you one of the actual units. So you've got the camera here. You've got some adjustment here on the front. You got adjustment here on the vehicle camera if you have that one. You got a stick pad on the top here, so that just sticks to your windscreen. And we include spares in the kit just in case you want to pull it off or something goes wrong. And then also once it's on, it's just a slide fitting. So you can actually pull the camera off if you ever want to have the camera in your hand and have a look at things. The 4K vision, you can see the actual full specs about all the quality of vision on the page. It comes with a 32 gig, 64 gig SD card in the kit, record button there, microphone, screen, so you can easily see footage and that it's on. And you've got some control buttons down the bottom here, which we'll cover in the menus soon. A rear camera input and our power, and a G sits in the top here that has the GPS obviously in here for location and speed. So great dash camera setup, perfect if you want to see front, rear, and in-cab footage and have it for when you really need it. It also can connect to Wi-Fi and hook to the app, and you can use it like that. So that's that. The single front camera is exactly the same, just we've blanked off here. Rear camera is twisting like that. Stick pad here, and again slides off as you can screw this part on to get a more firm mount. And again, we put 2 stick pads in here and some screws just in case it goes wrong. Your plug in here, and this is your plug for your rear camera. I will confirm, but I think this is 6 meters length. It will be in the description below. Rear camera plugs into rear, and it's a USB-C type fitting. That's basically your camera. You get your install manual, so that should cover most things you need to know. You get the 64 gig SD card, the spare pads here. Now for our wire kit, we come with a trim tool in the kit and some fuse taps if you want a hard wire and a fuse remover. Now this is the hardwire kit. Now it depends what you put in this in. You might want to use this or not use this, but basically red goes to ACC power, so you just need to test the fuse and find a fuse that is only on when the car's on, so you can test the top with a tester. Earth goes to earth, so beside the fuse box there'll be a screw that is into the chassis, just put that into that. Red goes to constant power, so yellow to constant power, so again, test all your fuses and find one that has power on it the whole time. That's the hardwire kit if you want to use that. Most people probably won't, because we have a much better one in our kit, which is the OBD2 power kit. So this will still allow the camera to work in parking mode. So these have parking mode, which means that when the car's off and it gets bumped or something, the camera will come on and record. The screen comes on as well. It's quite a good deterrent for people. Now, the OBD2 one, super straightforward. This plugs into your car's OBD2 port, which will be just above your pedals. You've got this little control box, which you can basically set the cutoff timer for the voltage, and if you want it to time out and go off after a certain number of days. And that plugs into the dash cam. So this makes installing a dash cam that'll work in parking mode super, super easy. So that is that, and that is what's in the kit. So that's basically everything that comes in the kit. We'll go through and we'll do the install and we'll cover everything now. Righto, so we're gonna put this camera in now. So grab what you need. In this one, for this video, we are doing the in-cab front facing camera, and we'll do the reverse as well. If you just have the front camera bit, well then you only need to start for this video. It should be fairly straightforward. We're going to use the OBD2 connector in this video. We'll have a separate video if you're doing the hardwire kit, but you would definitely always want to use this because it's much easier. So we're just going to take this off. We've got a 3 meter long cable on here, which will be enough to get us happening. And we're going to put everything in kind of where we actually want it first and see if it's working. Make sure you've grabbed the SD card and popped it into here. It just pushes in. It can only go one way. If it's kind of going on an angle, flip it up the other way, and they'll push it in. You can see it just pushes into there. You might need to grab something to help you like push it in if you don't have long like fingernails. I don't. So you could just need a little flathead screwdriver or something to help you like push it in. The trim tool that's in the kit will do the job fine. To find your OBD2 port, all cars are kind of the same. It has to be within 30 centimeters of the steering wheel, and you have to be able to get to it without tools. Hopefully I can take you in here and show it to you, not the zoom. Let's see if we can get under here. There it is there, this looking thing here. 16 pins, looks like half a triangle without the pointy bit. So we want to grab our little connector here. It's going to go into here. If you have something already plugged into your OBD2 port, what we will check is, we will check if a splitter will work, and if a splitter will work, we will supply a splitter and you can run both devices off it. I think it will work okay, because the other thing you're probably going to have plugged in is a scan tool or something that takes like data, but we're not taking data, we're just taking power. So you'll see our device here powers up, tells us what the current is on the OBD2 port, 12.2. Now if I push the T, you can set this to cut out. So you could set it for like 48 hours or different amounts. Camera draws less than an amp, so unless you're not going to drive your car for like a month, you wouldn't have to worry about that. The bottom one here, V, does it cut off like sort of voltage. So saying that timeout, you don't even have to worry about, because if it gets below 11.8 volts, it's going to stop supplying power to this. Now, if you want to set this, you can just go into V and you can push up and down, and 11.6 to 12.4 is its range. I'm going to set it at 11.8 on here, and then you push the middle button to confirm. So that's all you have to do there. Now, since we're down here, I will grab our camera. There's a port here called power. Plug this into power. You'll see the unit will power up, and you can see we're seeing the in-cab picture there and the front one there, and it's all recording and everything's happy. I will take you through all these settings later on. For now, we're just doing the install. Then we'll grab the rear camera one here, and I will spin this out, and what we're going to do is plug that into rear like so, and plug this other end into the camera. So this is your camera, reverse camera, undo that, plug these two together, push them in so they go click, and then you can see we've still only got two cameras on screen. If that is the case, what you might need to do is just push the unlock button here down the other bottom, and then push pause. And then you can get into your menu button here, record settings, okay, cam display, okay, so it should be showing all cams anyway. That's what it should be by default. Now the reason why it's not showing that could just be because we plugged in while it was powered up. So I'll pull the power from it, and then I'll put the power back in, and so then we should see all cameras hopefully. Let me work out why we're not seeing all cameras. So you can see all three cameras are playing now. It was just like a setting change we had to do. So if you push pause, you can go into settings. The four buttons down here match the four other points they are. Come into record settings, come into resolution, and you can set it. See, the top two are 2 cameras, and the bottom 2 are 3 cameras. So you can see the front is recording on 4K, the in-cab's at 1080p, and the rear camera's at 2K. That's fairly common. You won't really get something that's going to record 4K on all channels, and to be honest, 4K recording's not really actually needed most of the time, but it can do it, so that's cool. So you've got to set that for that, and now we could see the 3 cameras on screen. So we've got in-cab, front camera, and then we've got our rear camera here. So that's all our 3 cameras are sort of working. Now we're basically going to mount the front camera, and then we'll do the rear camera. What you want to do is you want to give wherever you're going to put it a bit of a clean. Excuse the 1,000 things I have on here. Now for me, you want to leave this powered up when you're putting it on, because you actually want to see where the camera's going to go. So I want to put it there. That's going to give me a good front view. It's giving me good cab view too, so I'm fairly happy with that. And then I can also see the screen, but not completely, which I like to actually see the screen, because then you know it's working. So just give it a little bit of a clean. I might even take this old one off from here. I've actually got one up here all up ready, but all you gotta do is peel the stick pad off, stick it on the windscreen, push it down hard. Now you can see that obviously slides off, so the one I had on here all up ready, I'm going to be using, and just slide that on. That's the camera on. I'm happy with that. The and I'm happy with the view I'm getting. Now you want to check it when it's on, because obviously the in-cab camera could be blocked by that. You might not be happy with how the front one's like sitting. You can adjust both cameras, so that's fairly straightforward. Now I pretty much just run this rear one to the back and decide where I want to put that. And so I'm just going to put that on the back top door, so that'll be okay. So that's easy enough. I'm happy with how that's going to be working. Now we can actually go and turn things off and actually go and install it and run the cables. So now we want to run our cables up here. Give yourself a little bit here. We'll probably zip tie these and tidy them a bit before we go and put them down. Now the trim tool that comes in the kit's super handy, just to pop this top bit down and get it started, and you can actually use it to tuck the cable in. Depending what sort of car you have and how tight it is up here, this car feels pretty good, so I don't think anything's going to fall down. You can actually put a bit of double-sided tape around these, but on this model of car it is feeling nice and tight up there, so I am not going to be too worried about doing that. And you can just, once you've sort of got it started with the trim tool, you can actually use your hands and feed the cable in like so. There's two cables here, so one's a reverse camera. If you weren't doing the reverse camera, well then you wouldn't have to be, it'll be just a single cable being actually run. Just give yourself enough here to tidy up these at the end. So I'll probably make these kind of zip tie like match each other, so they look nice and tidy when they actually come up. If you do have the car that you're finding the cables are like dropping back out of here, a little bit of double-sided tape up will hold them down. Now we're coming over to here now. Hopefully we can sort of see we're up in here. Two options here. There's an airbag in here, so if we take off these, if we pop off here and here, there'll be two screws on there and we can pop the handle off, and then this trim will actually pull off, and we could run that OBD2 cable down in the cable tray that's sort of like there. There'll be some other cables, just zip tie them to that, or you can just go around and sort of tuck it in. Best practice would be to take this off. Going around and tucking it in just means that if the airbag did ever go off, it would probably just snap the cable, so nothing would really be flying around too bad, I don't think. But best practice, so I'll take this off, but I know what people are like. So if you were going to tuck it in, you just slide the cable into there and run it down there. So the OBD2 one's going to come down here. The rear camera one suggests tucking up the top here and running to the back. Now all cars are going to be a bit different here, but majority of cars should have a tab here that you can get your trim tool in, a tab, a piece of plastic, and pop it off. And this is our OBD2 one. This is going to come down out of here, and we're just going to feed it down, 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 and down to the OBD2 port down there. Now I should have probably fed this back the other way, so when you go to do it, unplug it and start from down here, because that way you can actually run it up a lot easier. Because now I've got the big one out of this end, which isn't going to cause me a problem, but on your car it could. So plug it in, start with the small end, unplug the small end from the camera and feed that up going back that way would be the smart option there. So we're going to put these through here and then zip tie up the cable to tidy it up, and that'll be done. On majority of cars you can get your trim tool in here and pull this down a bit and tuck the cable in and just sort of run it along like that, and that's how you can put the cable in and come and feed it back in here and all the way to the back. Right, so putting into the reverse camera, this is the correct other way out, so just make sure you check out the video and you're happy how you have it, where you're going to put it. Again, you can slide off this, and it's got two screws in the kit, so if you're mounting it outside, definitely use the screws. If you're doing it inside, clean the glass first. You could also mount it on here, depending. Obviously the stick pad's not huge on this, so the screws can help, but it is a 3M VHB mount, so it should all be okay. So we're going to peel off that. Also take the lens sticker off and stick it on where you want to have it. Now again, like anything 3M, clean the glass and just hold the pressure on for 30 seconds or so, and that should all have it happening and fairly happy. And you can obviously adjust it once it's on for how you need to for your vision. So that's done. You can see the camera's all in there. You can see we've got our 3 visions. So front, rear, in cab, all looking pretty good. Fairly happy with that. Now that's the install basically done. These have sort of actually come up here. You could put them up here if you want, but obviously when I've got my rear view mirror in here, I can hardly see the cables anyway, so I'm happy with that. So that is basically how the install works, and the cables all ran along here and down into there. The OBD2 does make the install very straightforward and easy.